Hi, this is Warlow from Business Loan Services and welcome to my Friday Business Finance Bulletin, my weekly roundup of news, tips, ideas and strategies on raising finance and dealing with banks. So what have I got for you this week? Well, we're going to be looking at a new survey carried out by the British Business Bank. We're going to be looking at the continued rise in popularity on asset-based finance and looking at the alternative finance market as well to see what some of those players are up to. And in my business tip of the week, what should you be doing with the management accounts that you produce every month? So let's start off with the British Business Bank. Now, I've mentioned them in previous bulletins. There's a relatively new institution that the government has put together as one place for all of its business finance schemes. Now, the British Business Bank has just released a survey looking at the SME finance landscape generally, and some interesting things coming out from this survey. The first thing was about the changing use of money that businesses are borrowing. Up to about 2 years ago, they reckon about 45% of the money raised by businesses was used for working capital, i.e. to supplement day-to-day cash flow. Now, they reckon the latest figure is about 33% of the money raised is now for working capital. So it does kind of imply that cash is beginning to move a bit better, but perhaps more importantly, profits are being made. So where is the money then being raised then? What are people using it for? Well, a large percentage of it is now being used to buy fixed assets, which is great because it means that businesses are clearly beginning to reinvest again. And I'm sure that's maybe where you are at the moment. Another important message that came out of there is about awareness generally of alternative sources. About 85% of businesses say they were well aware of HP and leasing, but only about 32% were aware of crowdfunding and 35% aware of peer-to-peer lending. So still only about a third of businesses are aware that they don't just have to go to the banks for debt finance. There are other avenues. Another message that came out as well is that there's still this perception amongst businesses that they're going to get a no, and so they don't approach the bank. And we talked about this in previous bulletins as well. Do not assume you are going to get a no. There are banks out there now willing to lend to good businesses, and good is the key. And I guess the last message that came out from there was about diversification. Don't put all of your funding eggs in one basket. Make sure that you spread your risk around and you have a little bit of debt finance from banks, a little bit on asset finance and HP, a little bit on crowdfunding. Just spread your risk around so you're not beholden to one lender. So a good message there. So what about some of those alternative lendings? Well, asset-based finance. Now, first of all, what is asset-based finance? Well, it's invoice discounting, factoring, HP, leasing. Now, over the last, say, 3 years or so, that industry has seen a rise in popularity. And this has been confirmed by the latest figures out from the Asset-Based Finance Association. And they found that their members in Q3 of 2014 pushed out about £19 billion worth of cash to growing businesses. And that is up 12% on the same period in 2013. Now, here's the thing. Compare that to, on average, the 3 to 4% shrinkage where bank lending is concerned. So you can see there's a massive swing between a 4% dip and a 12% increase. So where's it going? Well, about 80% of it is going into invoice discounting and factoring, and the remaining 20% in asset-based finance, which is HP and leasing. Now, I'm a great fan of it, so if you're looking for an alternative source, just have a look at using asset-based finance and leveraging the assets that you have within your business. So what about crowdfunding sites generally? Well, a bit of news out this week from Funding Night. Now, Funding Night's a crowdlender, a debt-based business, announced this week that they've just done their 100th loan. As I say, they can very easily replace bank finance. A great bunch of people to work with there. So just go and check out fundingnight.com. They've just done about £9 million worth in borrowing, so a nice increase there. And they estimate that the total turnover of the businesses that they've supported so far is coming out to about £225 million. So great supporters there of the growing SME market. So say just check them out, fundingnight.com. Another alternative or challenger bank, we released some news recently, Cambridge and Counties Bank. The website ccbank.co.uk have announced they've opened a new office in the northeast in Sheffield. Now, Cambridge and Counties, clearly southeast based bank, but one of those banks is beginning to expand out and offer its services to businesses across the UK. mainly focused on commercial mortgages. So we'll borrow anything or lend out anything from £50,000 upwards. So a good alternative lender starting to come out in the market there. So check them out to see if you fit their criteria. So what's my business finance tip of the week? Well, I was with a client earlier this week and we were just looking at the management figures. Now they're doing the right thing, which is getting regular financial information from their accountant every month. And I asked a question to them, what are you doing with this information? And clearly, not surprisingly, they go straight down to the bottom line and say, well, we just want to see how much money we made last month. Now that's a great start, but management information will give you a lot more. It'll add a lot more value to your business if you really interrogate the numbers. And the thing I was explaining to them is when you're looking at management figures, what you're looking for are trends. How are things moving within the business? So I gave them a couple of simple ratios that they could be extracting from the information every month and said, track the ratios. If a certain ratio is going up, ask the killer question is, why is that going up? If a ratio is going down, ask the question, why is it going down? It's all about questioning the figures, and that will lead you to taking some corrective action in the business. If you're seeing a clear deteriorating trend in a particular spend month after month after month, it's going to send a very quick, clear signal, something is not right here. So if you're doing the right thing of getting management figures, well done, but make sure you really use them as a valuable tool within the business to understand what's really going on day to day, and then obviously take action on what you find. So that's it for this week. As ever, I hope you enjoyed the bulletin, and please share this amongst your friends and colleagues. So I look forward to being with you again next Friday, sharing some more tips, ideas and strategies on raising finance and dealing with banks. So thanks very much. Have a successful and profitable week, and see you next Friday. Bye bye now.